Recorded Books presents Accra Noir, edited by Danquah, narrated by Kofi Buachie, Anniwaa Buachie, and Danquah. Introduction. Cry Your Own Cry. Accra is the perfect setting for noir fiction. The telling of such tales, ones involving or suggesting death, with a protagonist who is flawed or devious, driven by either a self-serving motive or one of the 7 deadly sins, is woven into the fabric of the city's everyday life. Allow me to explain. Accra is a city that stands at the center of the world. Of course, this is technically untrue. The center of the world is at the meeting point of those 2 imaginary lines that divide the globe into hemispheres, separating north from south and east from west, the equator and the prime meridian. It's the intersection of 0 degrees latitude with 0 degrees longitude. Accra's geographic coordinates are latitude 5 degrees, 33 minutes, 21.6 seconds north, and longitude 0 degrees, 11 minutes, 48.8 seconds west. Not quite the center of the world, but remarkably close. Those few degrees of distance notwithstanding, Accra has long served as the meeting point of East and West, North and South, as a cultural crossroads. Accra is one of the most well-known cities in Africa. It's the capital of Ghana, which in 1957 became the first sub-Saharan, read Black, nation to gain independence from colonialism. But the city, in all its globalism, predates the nation. Prior to becoming a sovereign land, the area now known as Ghana was the Gold Coast, a British colony formed in 1867. 10 years later, Accra was installed as its capital. For nearly a century, in addition to being a political and financial center, the city was a major hub of trade. People came from Europe and other African nations to trade everything from gold and salt to guns and slaves. Accra is more than just a capital city. It is a microcosm of Ghana. It is a virtual map of the nation's soul, a complex geographical display of its indigenous presence, the colonial imposition, declarations of freedom followed by coups d'etat, decades of dictatorship, and then, finally, a steady march forward into a promising future. There is a story in every name, be it of a building or a neighborhood, such as Christiansborg Castle, Jamestown, Cantonments, Flagstaff House. Many roads and landmarks are dedicated to the architects of independence, not just Kwame Nkrumah, J.B. Danquah, William Oforiatta, Edward Akufo-Addo, Ebenezer Akwaje, and Emmanuel Obechebi-Lamte, the 6 men who are recognized as Ghana's founding fathers, but other leaders as well, including those of the non-aligned movement like Egypt's Gamal Abdel Nasser, India's Jawaharlal Nehru, and Yugoslavia's Josip Broz Tito. Given that Ghana's Independence Day is March 6, one might wonder why there is a street named 28th February Road, situated by Black Star Square and Independence Arch. It commemorates the Accra riots, which began on that date in 1948 and continued for 5 days in response to the deaths of 3 protesters, ex-servicemen, at the hands of the colonial police. The riots were considered a clarion call for freedom. It makes sense, then, that 28th February Road leads directly to the monuments of liberty. Inside Black Star's
Sample complete. Ready to continue?